So I want to talk about the possible future of the Tournament of Power based upon what we have coming up in Dragon Ball Super Episode 114. Now, if you have not watched Dragon Ball Super Episode 113 yet, make sure you watch that before watching the video. But I presume that pretty much everybody has seen it, so if you haven't, go check it out. But for now, let's go ahead and continue the discussion. And what I want to talk about is Zeno the Omni King changing the rules of the Tournament of Power as things go on and what it could actually mean. So, the discussion really springs up from several instances in this arc so far where the Omni King has changed the rules. Now, the rules for this tournament were given to us ages ago. They were given to us at the beginning of the arc by the Grand Priest during the Zen exhibition match, and those were the rules that were set in place. Now, presumably speaking, and we don't know this to be true yet, the rules of this tournament were probably created by the Grand Priest in the interest of fairness to all the universes, and Zeno probably just agreed. The thing about Zeno's character that I think a lot of people have to remember and understand is that he is basically a child. He's a little kid with a lot of power. Now, when you're a little kid and you don't have a parent to discipline you and you have no consequences, you can do whatever the heck you want, especially if you are this little kid who has the ability to destroy, wipe out entire civilizations, entire universes within the blink of an eye. This is a scary, scary problem and a scary character to have because he can do whatever he wants based on his mood. And the thing about the Omni King is that he's very, very passive. He could have told the Grand Priest, nah, I don't like those rules from the beginning, but he didn't do it. It's no different than when he was summoned at the end of the Trunks arc by Goku, and Goku was just like, hey, look, this is a problem. And then Zeno looked around and saw that the entire universe was pretty much corrupted by Zamasu, and he chose to just go ahead and wipe it out without even consulting Goku, without even talking to him. In the manga he did, but not so much in the anime. He's just a kid with a lot of power, which is a very dangerous thing. Basically, the way I perceive it is the Grand Priest came up with the rules, and as a kid, he just agreed to it. But then as the tournament was happening, the Omni King pretty much just said, hey, I like that. That's cool. Let's make it legal. For example, Master Roshi using the demonic or evil containment wave. You know, he used the Mafuba jar, and it was stated in the tournament that with the Mafuba jar, you could not use artifacts or items or weapons, right? It was pretty much said no weapons were allowed. Except for, of course, if you have weapons inside of your body and things like that, techniques, but not Mafuba jars. That is external for Master Roshi. And because the Omni King, as a little kid, thought it was cool, he was like, screw it, let's change the rules. There are no intergalactic contracts here, so Zeno can change the rules as he sees fit. Now, fast forward to Dragon Ball Super Episode 113, the next episode preview for 114 shows Caulifla and Kale fusing with Poltaras. Now, depending on your definition of weapon will depend on whether or not this rule change is going to be enforced or whether or not it was a rule change from Zeno. Because even though you can't physically harm somebody with a Poltara, if you hit them with a little, piece of jewelry, it's probably not going to hurt them. But obviously, when you use the Poltara the way it was meant to be used to fuse, you can create a very powerful character that could end up tipping the scales in this tournament. Now, from Zeno's perspective, I don't believe he even cares who wins. He just wants to see cool stuff. Zeno, in many ways, the way he's being written in this series is a reflection of the audience, of a big portion of the audience that watches Dragon Ball. He just wants to see cool stuff. And what is cool? Well, cool techniques. The Mafuba, that's cool. Fusion, that's cool. So if he does allow the Poltara to come to play in the Tournament of Power, it would indeed most likely be another rule change, but who's going to say no to him if he can just erase you? They can't say no to him. Now, I still believe that at some point in this series, and again, this is my belief, we're going to have a higher god than Zeno. I think that Zeno does have a parent figure who has not been revealed yet. That is my belief. Not even hinted in the series. I just have a weird hunch about it. So that may end up kind of putting things back in order when that ever happens. But until then, Zeno, the little kid who wants to see cool things, is in control. Just watch the movie Problem Child and you'll know what I'm talking about, because he could be a major problem. If you get this kid mad, he will delete you like he's freaking Matt Hardy. And that's another scary aspect of his character, is that he doesn't mind just wiping somebody away and not caring about the consequences. When Universe 9 and Universe 10 were wiped away, there were obviously innocent people on those universes. They're gone. Zeno did not care about a single life. He just cares about being entertained. So where's that going in the Tournament of Power? Well, I still believe, and I talked about this with Super Mecha Frieza weeks ago, I still believe that at some point, probably close to the finale of the tournament, we're going to see Zeno allow killing, which will probably be close to the end of the tournament. Again, I could be wrong on this, but I do think that originally there was no killing allowed, and now I think he may actually allow killing. And what's interesting is he may also allow flying. But what I find really interesting is, if you notice, when Jiren was meditating, he was actually floating. So either Jiren has power that somehow supersedes the rules of the arena, or he's using a different technique to meditate that's not the Bukujutsu flying technique. You know what I mean? But that was interesting that Jiren was meditating. He was floating there. He was literally sitting there floating. So I hope we get an explanation for that, but the point is that rules were meant to be broken, and when the tournament is being run by a little kid who has that much power, that's just something that's going to happen. And if you like it, if you don't like it, I mean, that's fine, but it is consistent character writing. Zeno's very innocent, very naive. He doesn't really know what's going on, doesn't really understand that these people are all living sentient beings. He does not care. Perhaps Goku can teach him better in the future. He just wants a friend, a playmate, and he wants to be entertained. Very, very simple, and it actually makes sense with the character. Let me know what you think. Do you think we'll see killing in the Tournament of Power in the future? Or maybe Zeno will allow Senzu beans to be used as well. That's another one to think about, in my opinion. And with the Potara fusion, will we see more fusions? I may do a separate video on that. We'll see. Hope y'all have a great day. Remember to take care of yourself and each other. If you like this video, check out these two.